Hello, I have another story about Jesus. This one's really good. Um, you know, everybody likes free food. And this time, Jesus does a huge miracle. He does a miracle for over 5,000 people. Okay, are you ready? So, Jesus got into a boat and went across the Sea of Galilee, and he went on a mountain to be alone, to talk to his disciples. He had sent them out preaching and healing people. There was 12 of them, remember? And they came back to share with him what they had done and all their experiences. And they were on the mountain, and then somebody found out where Jesus was. And here comes a whole lot of people following to get to Jesus, because Jesus had been healing people and helping all kinds of sick people. He had made blind people be able to see. He had made people who couldn't hear be able to hear. People who couldn't walk. Any kind of illnesses. There was a disease called leprosy, and it was a skin disease, and people, when you got leprosy, you had to go live outside of the city because it was very contagious. He'd healed people with leprosy. He just healed lots of people. Anybody who needed healing, he did it. And they wanted to see Jesus, and they loved his teaching. He taught like somebody who really knew what they were talking about, because he did. Because what is the Bible? It is God's Word. And who is Jesus? God's Son. So Jesus knows all about this Bible. They didn't have the whole Bible yet. They only had the Old Testament. But Jesus was teaching like he knew what it was about. And so people loved to listen to him. And they found him on the mountain. And he saw them. There were so many of them. He saw them coming. And he saw why they were coming. He could see in their hearts. And when I say your heart, you know what I mean. The thing you're thinking. Does anybody know what you're really thinking? I don't know what you're thinking. You don't know what I'm thinking. But guess what? God knows what you're thinking. And Jesus saw what they were thinking. And he had compassion on them. And that's a big word, compassion. That means to love and feel for them and to want to help them. And he did. And so he taught them and he healed them. And it was all day. And it said when the evening was come. Well, what is evening? Evening is that time when you eat supper and you get ready for bed. And when evening was come, he said to his disciple Philip, he said, Philip, let's feed these people. They don't have to go home. Let's feed them. And Philip said, we don't have enough money for that. That's a lot of money. Do you know how many people are out there? Over 5,000. Can you even count to 5,000? It would take you a long time. 5,000 is a lot of people. And that was just the men. If they had a wife or a child with them, that's double, triple. That's a lot of people. And so he said, go see what you can find. And Andrew said, there's a boy here. And he has a basket. And he's got 5 barley loaves, which is like little biscuits, and 2 little fish. Now, you know what? My nickname is Toujours, okay? It's really toujours. It means always in French. And my parents and my sisters and my very, very close friends call me Toujours. And I told my parents that I like little fish because they have a lot of flavor. So when they catch little fish, they call them Toujours fish. Well, this little boy had Toujours fish. They were little. And how is that going to feed 5,000 plus people? Well, Jesus said, give it to me. So they brought him, and he took up the bread, and he gave thanks. And it says he lifted up his eyes to heaven, and he thanked his Father for the food. And then he broke it in pieces, and he handed it to his disciples to hand out to the people. First thing he said was, have the men sit down. And they sat down in groups of 50 or 100, and his disciples handed out the food. There were 12 of them, remember? And then he took the fish and did the same thing. He thanked God for the food. And then he broke them up and handed them out. And guess what? Everybody got full. Everybody got full. And he said, go pick up the leftovers so it's not wasted. And guess how many leftovers were left over? 12 baskets. Now that's a miracle. And people were praising God because of it. Come back and hear another story about Jesus, because I got a few more.